Hi everyone, and welcome back to Turnabout podcast. Gemma and Christopher are playing with a lemon in a sock.
Is that who you are?
That is who I am.
You're like the voiceover from Big Brother.
And especially that line though.
Yeah, that specific line, not
Yes.
the person.
No.
That one specific line.
Yes.
Then I'll be, I'm claustrophobic, Darren. Because, little unknown fact, I am claustrophobic. Do you know that?
No.
I mean, I
No.
was really claustrophobic when I was a kid. Now with the years, it's been better.
I was just about to say, because your bed is so close to the ceiling.
Yeah. It wasn't really like tight space. It was crowds. Like when I
Right.
felt I was being like pushed
Okay.
into a crowd, I was like,
I had no idea.
Yeah. So when I was a kid, I had a doctor's note, and I didn't have to wait in line for the canteen, for the cafeteria. So I could just I would go through. Yeah. It was great, and I could bring one of my friends with me. So I had to plan out the week with each friend. Oh, it was so yeah. I'm claustrophobic. What a start.
That's an old maiden type of excuse.
Somebody told her she was fly.
She's nothing of the sort.
She's nothing of the sort. Please watch Big Brother. No, we haven't even watched it, but please watch the best of Big Brother in that specific season. And welcome back to Turnabout Podcast. We would like to clear out which Turnabout podcast we are.
Yes. Oh, we got a comment.
Yeah.
We got a really nice comment. They were really nice about it.
It was so lovely.
Yeah. But we got a comment from Hans who said that apparently there's another Turnabout podcast around.
Yeah, I was so shocked.
We are the imposters.
Because we did a bit of research and
We
we didn't find
did.
any.
I know.
So we're sorry to the Turnabout podcast.
They did mention that it's unlisted.
Yeah.
So.
And if you're listening, we suggest a duel for the name. We will fight at dawn. And to that person who left that comment, it was so sweet. And another 1999 non-English speaker, Ace Attorney lovers. So we should form a cult.
The Maya Fey cult.
The Maya Fey.
99.
Absolutely. 99 babies.
So today we'll be taking a look at darkest moments in the series. Spoiler alert for the entire series. And I don't know, I was thinking about it, and although it's not really spooky moments, I feel like it fits in with the fact that it's almost Halloween.
Oh, that is true.
It's this
could
week.
Be our Halloween episode.
Yeah.
Just scary stuff, traumatizing.
Although we are publishing after Halloween. We are recording the week of Halloween, so that counts. Yeah, this week we did the part 1 of the video we recorded last week.
Oh, yeah.
Next week is going to be part 3.
I missed I was like, huh. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true.
It's going to be uploaded in 2 weeks.
So it's going to be uploaded...
in 2 weeks?
On the 2nd, next Tuesday.
No. Because next week is the part 2.
Oh!
Yeah.
So we're really going to do this... This is going to be in a while.
It's going to be in a while. It's going to be on the 9th.
We are still in the Halloween spirit.
Absolutely.
Can we say what we're going as?
Yes, of course. We're dressing up as...
the Scooby Gang.
Yes!
The Scooby Gang. I'm going to be Daphne.
I'm going to be Shaggy.
And our friends are going to be Velma and Fred.
And we have a little Scooby-Doo plushie.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I'm so excited as well. I haven't actually ever dressed up appropriately, full-on costume for Halloween.
Same. We don't really celebrate it in France.
So
very
it's gonna
exciting.
be so exciting. So yeah, darkest moments, ranking and questions, going back to the format we've been using in the previous couple of weeks. But first, before the artist, actually, I want to state a public apology. When we were recording last week, in the episode 2 weeks ago, I kind of shaded Planet Her. And
did you?
When we were talking about Doja in the first episode's intro. Yeah.
Yeah. What did you say?
I just said, but not flooded her.
Oh.
So after we recorded the next day, I went back and listened to it.
Yeah.
It's not as good as Hot Pink, that's for sure. But I saved Woman and Get Into It. Yeah.
Which was the two that I suggested, I think. I was like...
So, it has some good moments. I'm not gonna lie.
Kiss Me More, Woman, Get Into It.
Ain't Shit.
Ain't Shit.
I don't do drugs. I like Tonight with Eve from the deluxe version.
Yeah, there's also the one with... I listened briefly to the one with The Weeknd. It wasn't that bad.
I know which one you're talking about.
I feel like Hot Pink was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was
and so
revolutionary.
We're expecting that. But
do you remember listening to it the first time?
Yeah, we were
so disappointed.
But yeah, it's not that bad. Like over the summer, it kind of grew on me.
Because we had it all set up with Lucy. Like we were gonna go to another city. We were driving to another city, and while I was driving, we were streaming it for the first time. So it was the perfect outing. Like It was like an hour drive, an hour and 10 minutes, and we set out to listen to it. Everything just sounded the same.
It was just...
It does have a lot of filler songs. Yeah. It does.
Whereas with Hot Pink, there was no filler songs. But it's not a bad album.
It's not. It's just... It's not as good as Hot Pink. So yeah.
Before jumping into the theme of the episode, shall we do the artist shoutouts?
Yes. Who are they today, Bestie Sock?
So we're reviewing blueskittlesart, or Blue for a shorter version, and their art, and it's wonderful. Once again, thank you, Blue, for letting us feature your art.
Absolutely.
We're super grateful.
Should we just jump into it?
I was gonna say that. What were your favorite artists?
I have a couple of favorites, so I'm gonna go through them really brief. My favorite one is the concept pitch for Mia Fey game. It's Mia Fey, Ace Attorney, and Phoenix is her legal assistant. And I love this concept. We've talked about it a lot of times before, and I love how the follow-up to that post was the second image was that the rival prosecutor in the game would be Lana Skye.
I love that.
I love it. And Blue did the research.
Yeah.
Because it says, yes, the timeline matches. I have done extensive research. So thank you, Blue.
Oh my god, I actually want that game now.
I want that game.
Oh my god, and Phoenix with his little sweater.
But yeah.
No, I need that game.
I know. It's such a good concept. My other favorites would be the Japanese themed promo with the kimonos, but Blue added Athena in it. It literally looks like official art. Like it looks like she belongs on there. If
I had sent it to you, like without telling you anything, I would have never picked up on it.
Exactly.
Me neither. It's like insanely good.
I know. And the last one would be the just K posing as the in the wing silhouette, the Yatakarasu logo. I love it. I miss K so much. We have something else to announce. When we finish this artist feature.
Do we?
We do.
Okay.
So...
Oh, I know.
Talking about K.
I know what it is.
So yeah, what are your favorites, Bestie Sock?
So I have several, but the first one is not a specific drawing, but it's more a vibe. Okay. I love that you focus all on Athena. Because I feel like we've talked about the mistreatment of Athena, and just the fact that she wasn't like featured in the official art shows like I love Athena so much, and we need justice for Athena. So I love that a lot of her pieces were focused on Athena.
Easily could have swapped out Clavier.
What is Clavier doing here? What is he doing here?
I'm thinking that they're in the same amount of games, but still.
But Athena is like a
main character. Exactly. I don't know.
Pissed me off.
Maybe it's because Athena is not written by Shu Takumi.
Maybe.
Whereas the other ones are.
Maybe.
Whatever.
But the other thing that I really liked was the Kay and Emma art.
Yeah.
That was such a cute relationship. I couldn't believe my eyes. Like, I think we might have mentioned before, but it's one of my favorite art that I've seen of this couple. It was so cute. The one with the kiss, and I could see them together. They are introduced in the same.
I don't think we have.
I don't think we have seen
shipping.
Yeah.
We've never discussed it.
And I think it's really cute.
And when we were doing the Family Ties episode, do you remember we said that oh my god, I hope you can't listen to that the asshole
Horrible.
On the motorbike.
Please, sir. Nobody wants to fuck you.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
Yeah, you're so cool.
Oh my god, please have my number.
So yeah, when we were doing the Family Ties episode, we said, I don't remember who it was or what the question was, but I remember I don't remember the context, but we said that an ideal family would be Gumshoe and Godot being the dads of Kay.
Yeah.
So what if like their teenage daughter Kay was dating Emma Sky?
Oh my god.
I know, that sounds
and
amazing.
And maybe like Gumshoe could have introduced them accidentally because she was at the police station one day. Oh, so cute. So cute. And I also love the VFA concept art.
Yeah.
I want that game.
Yeah.
I need it in my life. I genuinely do. So thank you again, Blue, for letting us feature your art.
They're a lovely artist. Please go share everything.
Yes.
We'll link
their
everything
below. And go like their... So they kind of specialize in Zelda content, which I personally love. I wish we could have featured it, but it wasn't. I'll
put some up while we're mentioning.
It was it was so good. I was scrolling through there. It kind of was like, oh my god, all this kind of Zelda. It made me really happy.
So yeah, so the announcement we want to make...
A very big announcement.
Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't even know what you're talking about while it's linked to me.
I thought as soon as I mentioned it, you'd know.
So, as promised, I feel like I've said a million times I was going to do that and I'm finally doing it. I am replaying Investigation 1.
Bum, bum, bum.
Bum, bum, bum. So I finished case 1.
Shocker.
My goal is to finish it during this term. And another big announcement, when I'm done, I'm going to replay Rise from the Ashes.
She's on a roll.
Yeah, I'm on a roll.
She's on a roll.
So, I had some thought about case 1. I've written all of them down, but I think this could be an episode.
Lucie so replaying investigations is gonna be an episode.
Yeah, so I'll keep those one hidden, but I am replaying it.
We have a bunch of ideas that we want to like pump out while we're together in term 1.
Yeah.
There's so little time. You don't even like notice like how fast the weeks go by.
3.
I know, it's insane. But one of the ideas that we had while we were together is gonna be a 2-parter again, and we each play the other's least favorite case together.
I'm so excited.
I really want to do that.
So I'm gonna replay The Monster's Turnabout,
and I'm gonna replay Storyteller.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
But it should be something that we do together.
Yeah.
So that we write our notes, prepare for the podcast. I'm so excited.
That's gonna be complicated a bit, but yeah, we need to do it.
So yeah, jumping into today's episode, we're doing darkest moments.
Yes.
We've ranked our 5 darkest moments, and then we have 5 questions each. Perfect. We'll be doing reverse countdown, so from least to most dark. And do you just want to get started?
Yes, absolutely. So, shall I begin?
Yeah.
My number 5th darkest moment was I wrote down exorcism of Dahlia out of Maya's body in Bridge.
Okay.
That scene scared me shitless. Like, that was so dark. The way, like, when she was screaming and
Oof.
leaving the body and Maya waking up like so out of it. It was just spooky stuff, terrifying.
Yeah.
It's not super high on the list because
it's least dark and more scary,
Yeah.
but definitely like it's an exorcism.
Yeah.
I mean, and you're right, it will always, like, you played it as a child as well, I can imagine. Like,
yeah,
it'll always be engraved.
yeah,
I
definitely.
bet anyone who's played it,
You can vividly remember it.
absolutely.
For my fourth one,
we're doing full list.
Oh,
okay,
do you want to go 5, 5, 4, 4?
I want to do graphics for this one, just as with like the character tier list. So
Okay.
go ahead.
Okay, are you sure?
Yeah.
So for my fourth one, it's Athena fixing her mother.
I completely forgot about that.
Her mother on the table and Athena, like, you know, and she's bleeding and
Yeah.
there's blood everywhere.
Yeah.
That thing. There was like a couple of things I thought about when we came up with this idea, but this was one of them. It's fourth because I feel like the top 3 is more, it's darker, and also because it does feel like a bit of a copy of something else that happened earlier in the series, and that is in my top 3. For me, the third one is the kids freezing to death in Investigation 2. What the fuck was that? Like, that was so dark. They're gonna, like,
I know.
threatening to murder your children and your own at the same time, and them not caring enough about it. Like,
Yeah.
insane. Super dark. And then my second is the whole elevator incident of Edris and his dad and Manfred Karma.
I
and
saw
Yanni
this coming.
Yogi. That, as a kid, traumatized me. And I know I said it wasn't about confined spaces, my claustrophobia, but I was scared of elevator for a long time for that reason, because I was scared of running out of oxygen like they do when they collapse, and the fact that Edward thought that he...
Is that even possible?
I think so. It's very hard. You have to be contained for a very, very long time, and you'd pass out. You wouldn't die, but still, it's spooky. And Edward thinking he killed his dad.
I know. Yeah.
And the
makes
whole
it
thing,
even worse.
Manfred McCormick, like, murdering his dad while Edward is passed out next to him. The whole Yanni Yogi being like, "You're stealing my oxygen." Like, that scene, I put it, for me, because the Athena story feels very Edward inspired. That's why I put it in the fourth place, and this in the second, because also it's loads of layers to that scene. It's just not the fact that the parents was dead.
I feel like Athena's, though, like, the reason why, and I agree, like, I completely forgot about that moment. I don't know if I had it if I would have it on my list, but out of everything in the series, I'd rank it as the most disturbing moment. Gruesome. But in terms of darkness, because we don't really connect to her that much, it feels like Gregory's death has so much a bigger impact.
Exactly. And there's so much more layers. And with Athena, she didn't kill her mom. It's a very disgusting and gruesome moment.
Yeah.
That's why I put it in dark. In fourth place. And my number one is the whole Celeste Impact, Man on Guard, Juan Corrida thing.
We have very similar lists.
For so many reasons. Like, the suicide, the threat, like, it's horrible. And also just, like, Man on Guard character for me is one of the darkest moments of the series. It completely shakes the whole kind of equilibrium of the franchise.
The
and
formula, the format, like everything,
exactly. And the Celeste Impact thing, and just, like, them blackmailing and
they didn't handle it the best way.
Yeah, it's very disturbing. It's so dark. What about you?
Okay, so I have 2 honorable mentions. Should I leave them last?
You could do them now.
Okay, so honorable mention number 2 is Catherine Hall going to prison just as Jeff Masters is released so many years after.
Oh, that was a very dark moment.
I can't believe they did this to her.
Yeah, and also they gave her Raymond's shield. as her lawyer, she's not getting out.
She's not getting out.
She's not getting out.
And she didn't even commit the murder.
No.
She was just like...
Like, she did something shady, but, yeah.
Yeah, that was dark. Like...
Definitely.
Oof. And number 1 is everything that goes down in Ghost Trick.
True.
It's dark.
That was so dark. Definitely.
The like
Yomiel.
The imitation of the room where Alma died.
Yeah. Alma's daughter thinking she killed her mom. So dark.
So, like dark. But I didn't want to put it in because it's kind of a cheat.
Yeah.
At number 5, we have, most of them are the same, but number 5 is actually something which I also didn't expect to mention, is Gayru Tornado murdering her own father and Turnabout Storyteller.
Oh, that's true.
And like...
Do we have a lot of parenticide? Like, kids killing their parents?
Yeah. A lot.
Yeah.
Like, concerning amount.
Spooky amounts.
I don't know. Looking back, I know we have a lot of like cases of where like child murders the like parent. We have Edgeworth thinking he did it, Athena not thinking, but like trying to fix her mom. But I don't know. This just like how it just because her motive was because she wasn't receiving as much as like the other people in the group, and then just her masking it with the wig and the nose and the balloon boobs and everything, just like, and then in the end when she breaks down she's like, I killed my dad. I don't know, it just stuck with me. Maybe because I did that case in an all-nighter as well.
Realistic in a way. It could happen in real life.
And like how he like she didn't even do it like in a painless manner. Like he had her own father suffer by having like playing with his allergies. That's sick. At number 4 I have Eenie Meenie's backstory.
Ooh. Oh, that's true.
Yeah, how she was like overworked.
Yeah.
And then she crashed, and then she altered her entire face to look like her dead sister.
Oh, that was super dark.
Like, I feel like
this... her identity.
Fits into the Athena trying to fix her mom category. Like, it's also very disturbing. How she, imitated Eenie Meenie. It's insane.
Yeah.
At number 3 is Gregory's death. Of course. I mean, duh. I feel like it's the most prominent dark moment, but is overshadowed by the darkness of the other 2. It's like, it's something that is so present in all of the games, and also I feel like it's everything you said when you talked about it, but also how literally the man who killed Gregory took on his son as his protege for years.
That's so true. Like, he brainwashed him. But also, now that I think of it, it's the inciting incident of the game.
Yeah.
Without that incident, Maya's mom wouldn't have fled. Edgeworth wouldn't have been, like, that kind of prosecutor. Like, it's what starts the game.
And I love how we're given context within her to Turnabout.
Yeah.
Because that's the case that started it all.
I love that. That was such a creative way to like tie it all back together. And
it didn't and like when people are like doing when we usually get like
fan service
prequels.
Yeah.
Like when we get forced lore, sometimes it might seem forced, and like sometimes it might like ruin the inciting incident.
Yeah. But
this time, I feel like we were giving backstory to something we've heard so many times and heard so much about, which was refreshing. Number 2 is Celeste Impacts and Adrian Andrews. Suicide definitely takes number 2. Yeah, it's everything you said. And I didn't like the way they handled it either. Yeah. It wasn't the best way. Like, yeah, the Adrian Andrews issue.
Definitely.
At number 1, you'll be shocked to hear that it's the freezing of the children.
Wow! so dark.
That was, yeah, that was like, that takes the cake for me, because I'm thinking, you have the man who did this not even be the villain of the case.
That was
like, he's the victim.
Dover, yeah. And he would be willing to do that to his son.
He left his child to die.
Yeah.
And that, I feel like the excellence behind this is like, not only did the inherited Turnabout give us context on the elevator, Gregory's death, what happened there, but also at the same time it set up another inciting incident, which was Simon Key's inception. Like him and Horace Knightley going to the orphanage.
Yeah.
Like, while the case gave background info and lore into something we've come to know so much about, at the same time it births something similar. It's like our new Deal 6, a completely new case. And that's like amazing, because Simon Keyes is such a like great villain.
But he's also such a victim. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, it's the same as Manfred.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Manfred was an asshole, but he did get shot. It was out of his anger that he shot back.
Yeah.
So...
You can kind of not understand it, but like, you get shot, the door opens, it's your nemesis, and there's a gun in front of you. It's like human reaction. You can understand their like the way they became monsters, and that's what makes it dark moments, because it's like, oh, it's super realistic. Yeah.
But yeah, those are my 5. Originally on the list, or honorable mentions, but it got removed in the end, was wait, let me see if I have it in my questions. Okay, I actually mentioned it in my questions, so I'm not gonna say, but yeah. What's your first question, Bestie Sock?
Thank you for asking. My first question is, I'm going to say my question and then I'm going to rephrase it because I know exactly what you're going to say. It's, if you wanted to introduce the game, the Ace Attorney franchise to a child, how old would they have to be for you to let them play it? And I know you're going to be like, well, I would like to traumatize them, so from birth. So let me rephrase this way. If you could have introduced the Ace Attorney fandom to yourself as a kid, how old would you have let yourself play it?
Damn it! The French woman has tricked me.
You fell into my trap.
I don't know. I feel like even stuff we grow up with have their darkest moments. Like, if you've seen Bambi while you were a baby, you know.
That is very cool.
Dumbo.
Yeah, Dumbo was so sad.
And dark, like...
Yeah, like exploitation.
So, I feel like for all the, like... It doesn't... the age I'd introduce it to myself doesn't have to do that much with dark moments rather than understanding the story, murder, motivations, and darker themes. So I'd say, like... maybe like around 10.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, like halfway towards to teenage years.
Yeah.
What about you?
I mean,
you did play it though.
It didn't traumatize me, and you're right. Like, and I was thinking, because I'm rewatching Detective Conan, the murder in Detective Conan are sometimes much more gruesome. Like, blood splatters everywhere.
We mentioned this.
So, and I wasn't. I loved it as a kid, but I think I would have. I think maybe 11, 12 for me. Yeah. You know, like, you're still kind of a kid, but you need... You can fully appreciate it by then, I feel
Definitely. Yeah, I agree.
What is your first question?
My first question is, originally on my list, number 4 went to Mia and Maya's final phone call.
Oh.
Does Mia being able to be channeled make her death less tragic?
A bit.
A bit? I agree.
I feel like it removes that element of, like, they're gone forever.
Yeah, we're never gonna see you again.
Yeah, especially because Pearls can channel her as well, so Maya
because she
can
shows
her.
up all the time.
And she shows up all the time, yeah. But like, if only Maya could channel her, it would be, they could play on it. Like everybody else can see her apart from me. Like I can't talk to her, but because Pearls can see her, can channel her, I feel like, yeah, it removes that element of exclusivity that we had when Mia was alive.
Definitely.
Yeah.
The death is still gruesome.
Oh, definitely.
The other day I showed Ace Attorney to a friend, and it was Turnabout Sisters. I was anticipating the murder, the phone call, my hairs rose, the murder happened. I was like, no. Like I didn't want it to happen. It's so sad, but I feel like by the third game, when she's channeled to show her boobs to Victor Kudo.
Oh.
I'm like,
definitely.
So you're just jumping in and out of life.
Yeah.
Just, okay.
Yeah.
Like, see you later, Mia.
See you soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Agreed. My second question is, can a case be good without dealing with a heavy subject?
I feel like it can, but it can't be that long. I have a similar question, actually, but it's not the same. I'm just thinking that, like, we have smaller cases which don't have dark moments, which are, like, such little keys. Like...
What are you thinking
a
about?
A key and a cackle. Recipe for Turnabout.
Me too.
Recipe for Turnabout.
Yeah.
And maybe like even it's not that much fun, and we're not fans of it. But even like the Lost Turnabout.
Turnabout Big Top.
Turnabout Airlines.
Those kind of, yeah, I agree.
Like they're small adventures, and the murder can be not that dark.
Yeah.
Like Glen Elg being stupid as fuck.
Yeah. It doesn't have to... I do think they're a bit less interesting than the one dealing with heavier subject. I feel like they can still be good and fun.
Yeah.
But usually, if they're too long, they get a bit boring. And...
Big Top,
exactly what I was thinking. And... it's gonna depend on how fun they are. It needs to be extremely fun for it to be good.
I feel like that's why we have such an affinity towards Recipe for Turnabout, because it wasn't that short.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was such a fun case, like so cartoony and light that we don't mind referencing
Tigray.
It. Like going dressed up as Phoenix.
Like it's
double
so
murder
dumb.
Scene.
With a mirror. Victor Kudo being like the biggest idiot, Lisa Basil being like a robot, and
Victor Kudo's nose, a pervert. Like
the case is just so goofy.
Like Furo Tigre could apply for a job in the Looney Tunes cast and he'd get it like with flying colors.
He'd be a villain.
On the little motorbike, like him being huge, Wile E. Coyote bringing in the like mirror.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
It's hilarious, yeah.
Like, when we're talking about cases and we're not, like, really discussing or analyzing for the podcast, I wouldn't, like, mention Farewell My Turnabout because it has, like, so many mentions of suicide, whereas this, we talk about all the time because it's such a light case. But, yeah.
It is. I agree.
So, my next question is, similarly to my first question... do you think the inherited Turnabout takes away from how tragic Gregory's death was or makes the impact of it even greater? We've kind of discussed this already.
For me, it makes the impact of it even greater because contrary to Mia, we don't see Gregory afterwards. And we know we're watching his last case, his last moments.
Exactly.
And especially really realizing how great of a character he is, it's like... oh, you know what's coming in, it's devastating. Like, he's such a good... I would play a Gregory Edgeworth game, like a prequel, because he must have had loads of cases.
Yeah.
But, and he's such a great guy. What do you think?
I agree. I feel like getting to know him makes it even worse because you're anticipating his death, as you said, but at the same time, like, they really push for that tragic ending because he keeps mentioning Edgeworth and how he loved this for Christmas, how my son, da-da-da-da-da.
He's such a caring dad.
And then, you know what's coming and we're never gonna see him again, so we're given an ultimatum. Except if you're Lucie's substitute biology teacher and you only play investigations.
Yeah. You can be like, oh, I love that guy. Can't wait to play the next game. Yeah.
I hope you're listening, you piece of shit.
If you are, hi. Thank you for teaching me biology. And you're like, you're 11.
So yeah.
My next question is, out of the case we've mentioned, who are quite dark, do you think there's a nice balance between dark moments and lighter ones?
Again? Out of the cases we've mentioned?
Like, the darkest cases, do you think it's, overbearingly dark? Or does it still have humor and stuff? How do you think it, like, handles that balance?
I feel like it depends on the case, definitely. Like, you have to strike a balance when you're writing such a case.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the great thing about Turnabout Goodbyes. It's not revealed until the end, so you're like shrouded in ambiguity.
Yeah.
Like there's a nice blend of everything. First of all, you have, like, we're introduced to Loda Hart. Larry's back as Santa Claus. There's a lot of humor.
Yanni Yogi is very funny. Yeah.
Missile, like, searching around. Everything is like so fun. And then, like, by the end, when we find out everything, it becomes super bleak. But I don't know. I feel like the Cosmic Turnabout and Turnabout for Tomorrow doesn't strike that balance. Like, I feel like the comedic relief isn't there. I guess it was supposed to be like the head of the center.
Oh, that
old guy.
Scooter.
He's so annoying.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Something with a Y. Yeah. Yuri
something.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is gonna bug me. Yuri Cosmos.
Yes.
Yuri Cosmos was, I'm assuming because of his, like, what do you call it? Like, hoverboard?
Yeah, scooter?
Whatever the fuck that was. Like, it was supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
It wasn't, and it just, like, the backstory on Metis Sykes just, like, brought everything down.
So depressing.
It was just depressing. And I'm thinking, while I'm answering this question, we also have, like, other cases which we haven't mentioned yet. Like, Turnabout Samurai has a pretty dark backstory.
Yeah.
Like, how that guy got skewered on the fence. What the fuck?
Yeah.
So
the drugging of Winston Payne, Will Powers,
yes.
So he would, like, take the fault. Like, it's awful.
But at the same time, they strike a balance. You have Salmonella, Cody Hackins, Wendy Oldbag.
Salmonella especially. And, like, Wendy Oldbag, yeah.
So, I feel like you have to strike a balance.
No, I agree, and when I was thinking about it, I realized that there's a pattern of investigations being very light and then court proceedings being much darker because you find out more information.
True.
So you need to have, first of all, good chemistry between your main character and the assistant so that the investigation is fun. Good characters during the investigation. And also I was thinking, Larry is the best thing for that because both in Turnabout Goodbyes and in The Inherited Turnabout, he's there and he provides great comedic relief. And you need a Larry. I'm not saying it has to be Larry, but you need to have someone who does bring a nice balance. In Brit, exactly. And I feel like, For the case where I'm like, oh, those were too dark, I'm thinking some of the case in Apollo Justice feel too heavy. There's not enough like balance, and I agree with the Turnabout for Tomorrow from Dual Destiny.
The backstory in The Magicians was
just
awful.
Exactly. It's like super gruesome. It deals with suicide as well, but
Verimisham.
It was just too much, to the point where, since everything is super heavy, the dark moments doesn't feel as bleak because it doesn't come as a surprise. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't stand out.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, that was.
And I feel like that's one of the other issues Rise from the Ashes has. It's just
way too dark.
It becomes dark really fast.
That's true. And I feel like the darker the case is, the less memorable the dark moments are. Because from the Inherited Turnabout, the case is fun from time to time. Like the case, Greg Ridgeworth is great. You have Larry.
Time jumps.
Delicia Scones is funny. Like, and then this hits like a metro train.
Yeah.
And you're like, when I saw that bit of like, oh, the kids were left to freeze, I was like,
wait,
no,
what?
there's no way like this. And then you realize it's truly so shocking. So
yeah, whereas like the moment with Athena you ranked, I completely forgot about.
You know what I mean? Because it's so bleak. So
like you try to forget it.
There needs to be a balance.
It has an impact when you don't see it coming.
Exactly. And you're completely correct about like Turnabout goodbyes. It's the same. You start this case with like, oh, Larry dressed as Santa Claus and
Loda Hart
best Yanni Yogi being so goofy,
like calling Nick and Maya.
Yeah, their kids and like, and then Yanni Yogi reveals them to be the killer, and you're so shocked. And then you learn the whole backstory, and you're so shocked, and it's so dark.
And I feel like this balance is one of the greatest stuff going on for Ghost Trick. Because it's not just for one case, it's for the entire game. Definitely.
Because you have some interludes. You have one where you have to stop an execution, and the other where you have to answer the phone from a sex novelist apartment. It's a great balance. You're right.
Like the woman at the chicken kitchen expressing her love minutes before a huge chicken squashes everyone. Yeah. It's funny.
It's great. It's very funny.
And what we haven't discussed yet as well is the importance of, at the end of the darkness, being a heartwarming moment. Yeah. And I feel like some of the examples, such as Turnabout for Tomorrow, lacks a genuine heartwarming moment because there's no... Like, the player isn't giving any gratification. Yeah. Like, Celeste Impact's suicide is kind of swept under the rug for the reunion between Phoenix and Maya.
That's true.
Or how, like, at the end of Turnabout Goodbyes, Edgeworth finally opens up and is, like, reunited with Phoenix. Yeah. There has to be gratification. And it's the same with Ghost Trick. It's the same with Ghost Trick. At the end, like, when all the timeline gets fixed. Like, it's so exciting.
Good. It's so good.
So, yeah. Long answer. But my next question is, why do you think there's a lack of darker moments in the second set of games or second trilogy?
So, I don't think there's a lack of darker moments. I feel like we don't notice them as much because everything is so bleak. They don't stand out. I think it's because of that balance we're talking about. Because like, I was trying to also put stuff from the second trilogy in my top 5, and like Garen burned her sister to death. You know, like tried burning her sister.
Oh yeah.
You know, like there are some, but because the whole second trilogy feels so bleak, I feel like they're not as memorable. What do you think?
I didn't think of it that way, but I do get exactly what you're saying. I feel like the way I thought about it is that it's just the dark and bleak moments just are just an unavoidable effect and aspect of higher stakes. Which is something the second trilogy we've talked about, like how they try to push it so much. Like when there's a takeover and hostage situation, of like I wouldn't put it like past the backstory being Metapsyche's death, or like how Queen Garen burned her sister, but it's a royal family, so
you're right though, because I feel like in a way the darker moments in the second trilogy are more goofy in a way. Like I don't take them as seriously because they don't feel realistic. You could see how Manfred Montgomery snaps and kills Gregory Edgeworth.
Yeah.
You can see how Inimini snaps and takes, like, those are human reaction to horrible events. Whereas, like, why did Garen murder her sister? Because she was jealous? Like, we aren't really put in their position.
No.
We don't really understand.
Whereas, like, in the first trilogy, and even Ghost Trick, because it's so smaller scale, you're like, it's environments we're used to. Like, it was just a trial and he got murdered.
Yeah.
Or, like, the home life of the family in Ghost Trick.
Yeah.
It was invaded by darkness. Like, you don't see it coming again.
Definitely.
Whereas, like, when it's a royal family or a robot takeover, like, you distance the player. And because also we've discussed a lot about how the later games do a shitty job in connecting the characters with the player, like, it's not as emotional. Like, I don't really care.
Yeah. How can you relate to a royal family, whereas, like, with Inimini, it's just a sister devastated over the loss of her sister?
Like, we never met Gregory in the first game, but I still felt so bad for his death. Whereas, like, Queen Amara, she came back and she was being super unsympathetic.
Yeah.
Pop off.
Totally.
So, yeah.
I agree. My next question, my pinnacle... No, what do you say?
What?
Not to say penultimate.
Penultimate question.
Penultimate question is, what traumatized you in the series? Like, if you had to pick one moment.
Traumatized?
Yeah.
What
had the biggest impact on you?
Impact, maybe. I just don't think at the age I played it's so much about trauma. Impact, in terms, like, I'd say scary moments impacted me, but not that much dark moments.
Yeah.
Perhaps the Celeste impact stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you
were disturbed playing it. You almost stopped.
I didn't want to, like, abuse Adrian Andrews over her, like, suicide attempts.
Definitely.
I'm sorry. But yeah.
Don't feel sorry. That's the correct reaction. Yeah.
But you playing it as a kid, I want to see what you have to say.
Just before I say an answer, do you think if you had played as a kid, do you think something would have traumatized you? It would.
Some things, I don't know if trauma may be like a strong term, but like...
I use traumatized loosely, yeah.
Like, stuff would have definitely stuck with me more.
I see. For me, I think it's Edgeworth in the elevator thing. Because that's something that actually, like, who had a big impact on me and the way I viewed the elevator.
Yeah. And you talked about elevators as well, so...
Yeah. But it's not even, like, for me, one of the scariest things, it's not something that I mentioned, it's just, like, the whole Dogen thing. I thought it was so dark.
Oh my god.
Just that character. The dog. Oh, that would have... If I had to pick an honorable mention, it would be the dog removing the chisel from Horace Knightley's body. And you see that, and you see, like, a dog killing a man, and then bring it to Dogen, and just that whole vibe, it felt, like, disturbing.
Everything about investigations.
Yeah. It's very
slightly dark.
Yeah. But there's a nice balance, because, like, in prison you have Frank Sawit, you have that...
A lot of fan service makes up for it,
Exactly, you have Loda Hart in the later cases. It's just... It's, again, about that balance we talked about earlier.
Like, Kay getting hurt? What the fuck?
Super dark as well. Yeah. Investigation 2 might be the darkest game.
Definitely.
That's the conclusion of this episode.
my fourth question is choose a dark moment you wish was treated with more gravitas and seriousness.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Thank you.
I need to think about it. So what was your answer?
I have two. The one is Celeste Impacts.
Yeah.
Not coming after Adrienne Andrews, exposing her for her like suicide attempts. Like shining some light on like the misogyny, like Juan Corrida being horrible, Matt and Guard being equally as bad, like just the abuse this woman went through. Maybe like also having Adrienne Andrews admit that she had a crush on her instead of like a mentor style position, because that makes so much sense. It's like literally unrequited love.
Yeah.
But the other one is the one that was originally on my list that I talked before about.
Was it Miesta?
No. I had two moments actually, which were supposed to be on the list. I just realized my first question says originally on my list. Number 5 on my list originally before Geru Tornado was Francisca getting shot at the same spot where Manfred got shot.
Oh, that's true.
And then she just bounces back off.
Yeah.
Or like when we visit her at the hospital, she's like not really in pain or anything. I feel like that like must have given her trauma, because she was like on her high horse, she was so high and mighty all the time, and then she finally like the shot finally grounded her. Yeah. Like it restrained her. She was always on the move. And now she was at the hospital. Like I wish we could see that. And that's one of the stuff I liked about the artwork from, at this point, 4 weeks ago.
I remember that one where like it was Edgeworth and Francisca. I was going to talk about this one.
Exactly. Yeah. Like she'd want to like get back into the field. She wouldn't let Edgeworth finally, like she lost already in Reunion and Turnabout. She lost at Turnabout Big Top, and she was like, oh, Phoenix, I'm gonna finally beat you. And then Edgeworth takes the case away from her. That must have hurt. Yeah. And we don't really see that.
Definitely. That's a really good answer.
Thank you.
I was thinking, I think I have my answer, and for me it has to be Terry Fowles' suicide.
That's a good one, actually.
That was a very dark moment, and I feel like sometimes it's kind of swept under the rug because it was a shorter case. We didn't get to see Terry Fowles for a long time.
We didn't get to know him.
Not really get to know him.
That's a moment in the first trilogy that I'd say doesn't strike a balance.
Exactly. It's just like so dark that it's shocking. You kind of forget about it. Like I kind of erased it from my memory because it was so shocking.
Because as you said very correctly, is that it's usually lighter investigations, darker trials.
Yeah, but imagine if we had like a full investigation and then trials of that. Like you get to know Terry Fowles kind of like a will power figure, like very big but very sweet, and then the end of it is he kills himself on the stand, and the impact that it has on Mia would be interesting.
Which we again don't see.
Which we could see in the first case, but it could foreshadow it.
How, like, her defendant in her first ever case commits suicide is mind-boggling because I've never made that connection.
You know what I mean? Like
you're nervous, and at the end he kills himself. Yeah, that's
horrible.
We never see that.
Yeah, and we never really talk about it again.
We never talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Right. What's your final question?
My final question...
I feel like I had something to say, but I forgot.
Let me know if it comes back. Terry Fowles, suicide.
Before... What's his French name?
Fleury Mérigé. It's something along those lines.
Prison.
It's the prison. It's...
The French prison.
Was that the thing you wanted to ask?
Yeah. Because I've learned Luigi Della Bocca and Hunter being
Yeah,
Edgeworth.
Benjamin
But this
Hunter.
one hasn't stuck.
Yeah, it's a prison name. Let me find it.
It's insane how the names change.
It's so strange. I don't like it. Régie Florimé. And it's a play on the real prison called Florimé-Rogy. It's like...
Okay.
Yeah.
Dual Destinies you played was the first one you played in English?
Yeah.
Do you know what Black Hole's name is in French?
It hasn't been translated in French. That's
Ever?
why I've played it in English. Yeah.
What about Apollo
Dual
Justice?
Destiny. Apollo has been translated in French.
What's Clavier's?
Clavier is...
We've talked about this.
We've talked...
Recently,
it's
actually.
It's like Gunther or something.
Yeah.
I think it's Gunther. It's something along those lines, but...
Oh.
Dual Destiny, Spirit of Justice, and Investigation has not been translated in French.
What about Loda Heart?
Loda Heart is Eva cause des soucis. Which means Eva causes trouble.
In the French version, is she from Cannes?
She's from Marseille.
Okay.
She's from the south. She has a very big southern accent in the game.
Got you. Okay. Final question then.
So my final question is, what do you think? Not the darkest moment, but the darkest illustration from the series.
Because I've been actually thinking about it a lot.
That's
because that's the one I'm gonna use for the graphics. So I was
like, okay, yeah.
Ooh, maybe Athena.
I think it has to be Athena.
It has to be Athena.
It's her mom. There's blood. Ugh.
And it's the first one that comes to mind as well. Whereas like the other ones I have to think about. I mean, Edgeworth's dad, obviously.
Yeah, but it's not gruesome. You know what I mean?
That's
Even like the kid's freezing, it's not that bad.
No,
like,
the other one is the most graphic.
Yeah. Okay.
Because there's also color.
I'm happy that there's color, exactly. You see the blood.
Oh, that's an interesting one. I love how you incorporated visuals. You know how much I love it.
Exactly.
Okay. Maybe Selena Sprocket dying, actually. Like her losing oxygen and crying.
Of course, I can imagine.
My final question, bestie, lemon in a sock is...
Lemon in a sock.
Okay, this is quite the tongue twister. It's a long question.
Okay.
Do you think dark moments are pivotal to shaping a good final case? Consider Turnabout for Tomorrow, which failed to establish how the flashbacks were really dark and were taken more lightly, or Turnabout Ablaze, which lacks a genuinely dark moment apart from the embassy backstory and the Yatagarasu storyline. So we have one case which doesn't strike the balance. And we have one case which...
Where there's just no dark moments.
Yeah, because I don't really care about the people at the embassy.
I don't care about Kurkasal, but I don't... No. Yeah. I completely agree with the thing about Turnabout Ablaze. I think that's what lacks in that case. It's like a really dark, choking moments where like you're like, oh shit, what are we doing? And I do think that it's a pivotal... I do think it's important. Because... usually those dark moments result from you caring about those characters and being so shocked about it. So when you don't really care, nothing will shock you.
That's the genius behind the writing of Investigations too. Because the final case is about strangers.
Yeah.
But we were given gratification because case 3 was another final case. We were given 2 final cases.
Yeah, and the characters are so involved in those strangers' life.
Exactly.
And it's so pivotal to them to find out the truth because it's something that's been going from the beginning of the game with the mastermind. And that's everybody has been affected by.
And again, it's political, like the embassy, it's about the president, but you care.
You care, definitely.
You care. Because... okay, even if you don't form a bond with Justine Courtney and you don't care about John Marsh, it has to do with Gregory's legacy because the events that take place were set up in the DL6, the prelude to DL6. So you're like, this was this, although it's strangers, it started with Gregory's final case. So Gregory has a role to play in why Simon Keyes is such a good villain. Like, it plays into the backstory. But you're right about how the first investigation is like, I completely agree with what you say. I feel like a dark moment is pivotal to shaping a good final case, but you have to strike that balance.
Yeah, you can't overdo it.
No,
and you
like
can't rely
Turnabout
on
for
it.
tomorrow.
Yeah, you can't solely rely on the dark moments, because or else it's gonna be like, okay, this was weird.
And I'd like us here to analyze as well Turnabout Revolution. Because we haven't really spoke about, and something that was actually I was considering to put on the list is Durkee's death.
That was quite dark.
It was dark.
Especially,
it didn't make the cut.
Yeah, but it was a dark moment, especially because you had a connection to him.
Here, I feel like the balance was so, like, mechanically struck. Like, here's the first case where everything, like, actually, no one dies. It's Archie Buff, but it's not really a murder, so everything is gonna be funny and light. Let's return to Corain Village. What fun. And then it's like everything goes to shit in the second act.
I feel like we don't even have the time to grieve Durkee's death.
No.
It was over before you knew it. By the time I realized,
it's just a trial.
We had moved on.
And so many things happen in that trial. Amara comes back.
Yeah.
It's revealed that Nayuta is Rafa's brother.
Jove Justice is somehow involved.
Somehow.
Yeah.
Like, Queen Garen's reveal, she brings in the Imperial Guard. Like, what the fuck?
Very intense. And for what? For nothing.
And again, there's that disconnect between the player and the royal family.
Completely agree.
Alienation of the player. Like, again, you have to, like, I feel like the formula to a good dark moment is just having it center around characters which you formed a bond with.
Definitely.
Kay getting hurt again.
Seeing another side of those characters can be also very shocking. Like, Edgeworth, kind of more sensitive and more hurt side.
Maya getting kidnapped.
Francisca being wounded. Like, those elements are shocking because they're interesting character-wise.
And that should be the focus of the case. Don't overdo it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you should overdo it, but at the same time, don't try to, like, also raise the stakes, which will overshadow the dark moment.
I agree.
Because if there's, like, guards coming in and there's a queen and da-da-da-da-da, or, like, if there's a hostage takeover, I don't really care. I don't really care. Like, I don't care.
The villain is a tree. The villain is a tree. That's it. That's all I have to say.
And with that, the perfect ending.
Segue.
Yeah. That was the dark moments.
Happy Halloween!
It's a short episode.
It's a short episode.
It's a more serious episode.
Yes.
It's not as comedic.
You know what? I feel like it would have been too depressing if it was longer.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, oof, this conversation was heavy. Because I kept being reminded of all of the things that my brain had forgotten. Like, there are a lot of heavy moments.
Maybe next week's will next episode should be something much lighter.
Yes.
Like shits and giggles.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Okay.
This was dark. Thank you for tuning in, guys.
Thank you so much for tuning in.
I hope you're all okay after this sad episode.
What are we doing next? We're
eating
French grilled cheese.
Yes. And chips and dips.
Yes.
And snacks.
Yes.
From the Asian store.
Absolutely.
Yes. I feel like we have a feast ahead of us. I'm very excited.
Oh, I'm so hungry.
I'm so hungry too.
Okay, perfect.
Happy you are on the same page.
So, yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week, guys.
Bye.
Bye.